Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Android with Naga. In the last video, I have told you about what are the mobile application development approaches, and in the last video, I have also told you in the next video I will give you a tour of Android Studio. So before getting into the exact Android Studio and we see the Android Studio, I will like to give a brief introduction about Android Studio. What is Android Studio? Android Studio is an IDE integrated development environment to develop Android applications. So it is developed and maintained by Google. Third thing is it is developed on based on the like IntelliJ IDE. So here clear. So Android Studio is not just where you write the code, it is everything from building an application like writing from scratch to the integrating it into the Git. It will give you Git integration inside the Android Studio so you can pull, push, and also commit the changes to the Git integration, and then you can also pull the repository from the Git directly into the Android Studio. So that is one benefit and one feature of the Android Studio. Second is you need to have understanding about the project structure, because it what makes you differ from coder to a developer, because everyone writes the code, because everyone learns Kotlin and Java languages and everyone wrote the code, but how you organize it is one thing which differs you from both, like you are just a coder or you are a good developer. Because see, every application starts small, but moving forward you will get complex, and it will get complex and also large. So if you are not organizing properly, it will be difficult to test a feature, remove a feature, add a feature, and also it is difficult to know where the future is there also. So you need to organize code well, where exactly the Kotlin Java codes will be go, and where exactly UI code will be go. You need to have an understanding about that. And that is said, the third one is AI integration. So in Android Studio, you will be having AI support. So if you are facing any issue at any point of time, you can ask the AI and get resolved by it. But do not actually like completely depend on it. In recent times, AI is everything. But if you are completely depend on it, you are nothing but a mere coder, like vibe coder kind of thing. So you need to understand when to use the AI and when not to use the AI. So that is the third part, and fourth part is Logcat and debugging. So Logcat tells you what exactly the issue is for your application to crash down, and you know how to solve it by debugging in step by step point. So that was also provided by the Android Studio, and you can debug the issues. And let's come to the emulator. Emulator is a virtual device. You do not have 10 devices to test the application on, so you will be having different. You can have the emulator virtual device of mobile phones or tvOS or any wearables which is regarding to Android. You will have the everything. I will show you exactly how it looks and what takes and what it differs from, why we call it virtual and not the real device. We will see into it and I will show you what exactly is. So right now you will have a basic idea of Android Studio, right? You will have project structure, that I will also tell you where exactly they will go. Project structure will be on your left, and AI support and emulators will be on your right. Logcat will be on down, and other features like tools or home, like files you have to create or Kotlin or they will be on the top. You can create. And one more thing I would like to give you, in the, if time permits, I will tell you in this video only that what happens when you click on the run button. So internally how the code you have written converts into an application or APK file or APK bundle, app bundle. So I will tell you that too. So without wasting any time, we will get into the Android Studio and I will show you the features what I have told you now. I will show you exactly how they look in the Android Studio. And also, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So let's. So this is the code editor where we write our app logic, design UI, and control behavior. It supports Java, Kotlin, and XML. And smart features are like it will autocomplete suggestions, it will give you the suggestions and error highlighting. And second one is project. Project is the much more important one in your whole development because it will tell you what kind of developer you are. So if you don't organize your project properly, it becomes a mess when it grows. So when you are doing personally, then you have to maintain and organize your code. And when you are working for a company, the application will be huge, and you need to have you will have so many files, so you have to segregate them. For that we will use architecture, and architecture will divide or segregate what needs to be segregated so that your app can be tested without depending on the source, like data and where data comes from. So that is all a different thing, but you need to understand that as the app grows it becomes complex, so you need to have a clear organization in the project structure. So third one is Logcat. Logcat is like CCTV camera for your application. Whatever happens in your application will be recorded here. So whenever your app gets crashed, do not blindly think that what will be the issue. Just come to the Logcat and see what's the issue here, and you will get exactly the issue. Right now you see device hasn't started because there is an issue here with devices because our application is not at all running, so it is rebooting again. So we need to wait for that. So just come back to our explanation in the Logcat. If there is an issue with your application that makes apps crashing, then you can see in the here, once here device is connected, you will automatically see the things. But however, if it is you want to see a particular thing, fatal error, then you can choose the fatal error app or something, you can type here too, and then you will get the Logcat. So Logcat is like your helper which gives you the error why your app is crashing. So next one is emulator and devices. So in Android Studio lets you test your app on different devices like mobile, tablet, and even smartwatches. So I will show you that. If you click on plus button, you can like download a virtual device. So here I put it on create a virtual device, loading devices. See, you can see a number of options you have to test on a device, and then here you come tablet, wearables, desktop, TV, automotive, etc. Whatever you want to be tested on, you can choose. And in that, in the phone, you have a number of options like that. So you can choose without a need to buy the real device for that. However, if you have the real device, you choose the real device because it is better for faster testing, and it also gives you a feel when you are using mobile in your hand. It gives a different feel and different user interaction than you are using on a screen. So next one is top menu, and if you go here you can create a new project from here, import new project from here. As you can see, if you can do all things which I told you from there, you can go to like settings, project structure, everything. So these are not that important, but you will come to the build later on that will be having some important things to do when you are getting into the project development. So not now, but in coming videos you will learn about it. And next one is, as I said, Git is integrated here, so you can in the more tools you can see commit and Git integration is there in the Android development, and you can uh, just connect your Git repository to the Android Studio, and you can push the code to the Android Studio, commit your changes, and also pull the Git repository from the Git directly into the Android Studio. So that how helps. And also I said AI assisted in the Android Studio. So here On the right side, you can see Gemini, and also you have to sign into this. Once you sign into the Google, you will have the features, and AI assistant will help you with your code issues, syntax errors, and gives you a plan also. So using AI is very important in 2026 to get a job, but however over dependence on that will also make you nothing but a extra in the company. So don't over rely on your AI. Now what happens when you create a new project in Android Studio? See, select empty activity, and I was choosing phone and tablet right now, and then I was going for next, and here you can give your what's your application name is. I was just simply giving a sample one as the name, and see here minimum SDK is like SDK is something like software development kit, and it is if you create something like Nougat, your app will run on 99.2%. If you choose only the latest version, then your app runs will be on 7.5. So this will reduce the number of users for your application. So you need to select something where you are choosing the broader area, and then build configuration is nowadays Google is moving towards, or Android today is moving towards Kotlin so much. So Jetpack Compass, which I told, it is completely built on Kotlin, and now the build configuration language also Kotlin DSL. Previously it was Groovy. Groovy was still there, but it is preferring and recommending us to learn the Kotlin DSL. So we will go with the Kotlin DSL, and let's finish this. Now it generates some files and minimum requirements for the Android Studio application to run, and our sample app needs some dependencies and everything to see and run in the emulator and all. Those all will be downloaded here, and the build project will be built, and you will see the project structure here nicely. So let's wait for a second, and you will get it. You see, when you can see right here, Android structure has changed. So when you create a new project in Android Studio, by default, it will create you manifest file, Android manifest file, and then it will create you main activity. See here main activity, and also resource files like values and XML. And in Gradle, you will have the dependencies here. So I said dependencies will be downloaded. So here say you have all the dependencies which are minimum, and you don't have to do anything. I haven't written any code, as you can see. This is all written by Android Studio only. This is the basic minimum that will give us. So let's start from the Android manifest file. Android manifest file is brain of the application. Inside it, you will be able to see application activity and intent filters. What are these and how it will help? I will tell you. The tag of application will tell you that application level changes or application level configurations. So what's your application name, what's your application theme and application icon, these things will be here, and backup will be for the Google in the uh, when you post it in the Play Store, then this will help to restore your data and all. So it has to be true most of the time. So it will by default it is true. for us. So let's see, if you do not want, you can make it false, that's up to you. And next we come to the activity. What is activity? Is like, activity is nothing but a screen of your application. uh, for example, login screen, home screen, these are all the activities. And what it is doing here is, when your application is launching, you need to show one screen, right? Either login screen or welcome screen, whatever the screen may be, you have to show something when. But how that is doing is intent filter is something which communicates between our application and Android OS. Whatever the device you are using, you have installed our application called sample one, and you launched the sample one application. Then who knows which activity to open? So here intent filter tells that main launcher, it tells that this activity has to be, this activity has to be called on. So main dot activity became here, and here it is using compose. So I already told you Jetpack Composer XML, whatever you want to use, you can use. For now, the Android Studio is coming with compose only. So here it tells hello dollar name. So what it is saying, so hello Android will be the output you will get. So here if you split that, if you build and refresh it, this preview show background true will help you to see the preview here without even open emulator. You are not opening emulator because of the preview written here. You can see uh, how this hello Android will look on your application. So that is said. Next thing we are going to see is launching the application and what happens with it. So last thing I want to tell you is what happens when you click on run. So when you click on run, Gradle starts build. As you can see, Gradle build is running. Gradle starts build, and it downloads the dependencies, whatever it is needed, and then code compilation happens. This main activity is Kotlin code. So this, and if you are having used any resource files, then those will be compiled and it will be uh, converted into dot class files. Then the dot class file is converted into .dex dolbit executable, which is required in Android by the D8 compiler. And then comes the R8. R8 stings the code, optimizes the code by removing unused code, and obfuscates the for the release. What it means is, if your class name is main activity.kt and main activity, then it will change the main activity to A, B, C, something like that, so that once your project is live and available for the public, and it will help you from your competitors not to know your code logic and business logic. And then comes the our APK generation. Everything is packaged like code, resources, manifest, and it once it is APK is generated, it installs on your emulator or real device. App gets installed and app gets launched, and Android OS reads the manifest, finds the launcher activity, and opens your application. In simple terms, when someone asks you what happens internally when you click on the run button, you can say, when we click on the run, Gradle builds the project, converts our code into Android format using D8, and optimizes using R8, and packages it into APK and installs it on our device, and then launches the main activity defined in the manifest file. That's it for today, guys. I have given you complete tour of Android Studio, everything you need to get started with your development journey. If you have any doubts, questions, or even suggestions, drop them in the comments. I will definitely check them out. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye and happy coding.